Good day everyone. So I am also one of the reporter which will discuss the lesson 2 instructional design model. So I will be the one to discuss the ADDIE model and also the Merrill model. So the first one is the ADDIE. As you can see, this is the ADDIE model. So the word ADDIE stands for analysis, evaluation, implementation, design and development. So when we say ADDIE model, it is the generic process traditionally used by instructional designers and training developers. So the 5 phases, which is the analysis, design, development, implementation, and evaluation, represents a systemized process of instruction wherein a learning process is established in a framework of the organized flow of the knowledge effective transfers. So again, the acronym ADDIE stands for Analyze, Design, Develop, Implement, and Evaluate. So it is an instructional design model that has withstood the test of time and use. So it is simply a device that helps us to think through a course design. So through the model appears linear, so it does not have to be followed rigidly or in a linear approach. So especially if you already have course materials developed. So the first one is the analysis phase. So when we say analysis phase, this phase introduces the focus of the lesson, the goals and the objectives, also the learning environment, learner's prior knowledge and cognitive level, and also the learning style. R. So when we say analysis, the analysis phase of the ADDIE model, this serves as the investigate prelude. So that informs, first of all, so whether the program of instruction is needed. And then if so, what outcome should the program produce? So in the analysis phase, the instructional problem is clarified. So the instructional goals and objectives are established and the learning environment and the learner's existing knowledge and skills are already identified. Ma-identify siya. So in the analysis, this will be the some question to think about during the analysis phase. Just like for example, who your learners are, also what are the overall goals you are trying to achieve. So the next one is the design phase. So the design phase is a systematic or specific phase wherein the different parts in the process of learning such as crafting learning objectives, assessment instrument, as well as appropriate contents and materials to name a few will be taken into consideration. So when we say design phase, this is where we address any performance gaps identified in the analysis phase. So complete the training outline and secure management approval. So the ADDIE model is generic instructional design model. So ang design phase, mag-deal ni siya og learning objective, also assessment instrument, exercises, contents, and even subject matter analysis. Additionally, the lesson planning and media selection. So the design phase should be systematic and specific. So the question that would probably fit to the design phase will be, what are the objectives of each session or unit? So, and also, how will you assess the students? So the third one is the development phase. So when we say development phase, it is the output of the design phase where content will be assembled, where the developers create and assemble the content assets that were created in the design phase. So the development stage, it involves having the format. Diri na sa development phase, masulod ang format. And also, ang plan sa course which will be approved by the higher-ups or any clients in getting the instructional designers engaged with it. So the instructional designer will be using content authoring tools to bring the concept and ideas laid out in the course plan to life. So the development is all about siya of getting down to business and using insights collected from the earlier phases to start the developing course. So the development phase, mo na siya ang dili na siya mag-start ang mag-create and assemble the content assets that were mga blueprinted in the design phase. Dili ma-insert ang mga blueprints. So, in this phase, the storyboards are created. So, ang content is ma-written siya and graphics are already designed. So, if learning is involved, ang programmers mag-work siya to develop or ma-integrate ang technologies. So, here are some possible question. So, just like for example, like, how do I create a lesson plan? Or another one, how do I provide practice for students? Just like that. So the fourth one is the implementation phase. So when we say implementation phase, this is a procedure for training the facilitators and the learners is developed. So the facilitators training should cover the course curriculum. So learning outcomes, method of delivery, and testing procedures. So preparation of the learners includes training them on new tools, just like the software and hardware, students registration. So diri nga phase kay ang learner actually maka-receive siya og instruction and materials that prepared for them throughout the previous 3 steps of the ADI. Sa previous nga step, the analysis, the design, and the development. So as such, this arguably the most important step. Kaya nga no, because it is where the learning actually occurs. So during the implementation phase, ang procedure for training the facilitators and the learner kay ma-develop na siya. So the facilitators training should cover the course curriculum, the learning outcomes, and also the method of delivery and testing procedures. So, ang possible nga question nga ma-insert dire kay just like for example, how do I motivate the students? And another one is how do I summarize and review each lesson and also the presentation. So the last one for this model is the evaluation phase. So when we say evaluation, it consists of 2 parts, formative and summative. So formative evaluation is carried throughout the process of learning, while summative is where the learner's comprehension. So the evaluation is when the training program goes through in-depth review and testing. So kaninga stage mag-allow siya sa instructional designer or let us say the teacher to thoroughly and painstakingly nga i-evaluate each element of the course to ensure that learning outcomes are achieved. Mao na siya. Common na kayo siya sa tuwa nga after mag-discuss is i-evaluate sa itong nga teacher para mahibalan if natay na learn. So the evaluation phase kay it plays an important role. Importante sab siya in the beginning and at the end of the process also. So evaluation objectives reflect much of the discoveries found in the analysis process. So this discovery mag-include siya objectives and expectation of the learner. When looking at the process, you must avoid na kay dapat nga likayan, which is the thought that is structured in chronological order. So rather, the ADI model is a continuous circle of overlapping boundaries. So all of the process phases and the evaluation phase is the last understood. So ang possible nga question nga ma-apply ani nga phase is, how do I know if my course has been successful? Another, which expert should review the material before a course is presented to students? So that's all for the ADI. So let's go on to the Merrill Principle of Instruction. So as you can see, this is the Merrill's Principle of Instruction, which is na siya 4. The integration, activation, application, 5 rather, application, demonstration, and the problem. So the first one is this one, Merrill Principle of Instruction. So Dr. David Merrill set a fundamental principle of instruction that can lead to effective efficient, and engaging instruction. So Merrill's purpose was to identify the prescriptive principles common to various design theories and model. So when we say the Merrill, it is the most straightforward siya. Siya ang straightforward, simple, siya nga design model. We've examined so far, yet na-examine siya so far. And yet, it also packs a lot of power because Merrill believed that effective learning experience are the rooted in problem solving. So educational programs designed according to his principle deliver value because learners know how to apply what they have learned. So under this model, nasa 5 ka nasa 5 ka category, which is the first one is the problem centered. So when we say problem-centered, learning is promoted when learners are engaged in solving real-world problems. So the problem-centered is truly effective ni siya. Truly effective learning experiences are rooted in problem solving. So experience mang good kay are practically used of a learner's time and money. So many instructional designers believe that problem-centered program are more ethical design choice. So, kaya nga no, they are more value to the learner. So, learners, makarelate magud sila to the subject because it is relevant problem and that captures their interest and engages their curiosity. So, the next one is the activation. So, the activation is the purpose of activation phase is to create activities that build on existing knowledge before exposure to new information. So activating prior knowledge prepares your learners to connect new incoming information with existing knowledge. So when we say activation, so first, it activates the learners' existing knowledge in the topic under memory of an experience. So ma-relate siya to the topic. So makarelate sila og new information to that existing knowledge or memory. So it also to help them make connection and build new knowledge upon what they already know. So if they have no relevant prior experience or knowledge, so help them get basic understanding, syempre, before introducing more complex ideas. So the third one is the demonstration. So demonstration, and the purpose of the demonstration phase is to create activities that demonstrate your learners to help to learners the steps and procedures. So demonstrating knowledge requires the learners to be mentally active but they have not participating physically. So demonstration. So according to Merrill, educator must show versus tell. So at this phase, the learners are watching, not yet doing. So the learner must observe the process and see how it works in real life. So depending on the topic, you can use videos or rather a real life demonstration or even infographics or role playing. So just like for example, demonstrate a new information such as steps and procedures, or also show a process in a real or simulated situation which the learner can able to relate. And the fourth one is the application. When we say application, the purpose of the application phase is to create activities that give the learners opportunity to apply what they are learning. So application of new information provides the learners opportunities to do something such as practice a procedure, play a game, or even answer a question, and etc. So diri sa application, Merrill also believed that answering multiple choice or even sa short answer or magmatching question which rely on a learner's memory, kanang mag-rely siya sa mga estudyante, ilang memory sa estudyante, it is not sufficient. Dili siya sufficient for the application aspect of learning. Kay he believe, according ni kay Merrill kay he believe that he believes that learning should actually do what they're learning in the context of a real world problem. So Mag-i-help nimo ang learner to apply new knowledge and learn from any mistakes. So, mag-provide ka og guidance at the start if needed, and then gradually reduce support. So, retrieval practice is an example of application principle. Just like, for example, activities such as exercises, quizzes, role-playing, reflection, and discussion that provide opportunities for the learner to retrieve and apply the new knowledge. So, the last one is the integration. So when we say integration, the purpose of the integration phase is to create activities that help your learners select and express what they learn and how they may use it. So integrating new knowledge helps the learners connect what they are learning to their work or their lives. So integration. So dire, finally, ang learner must transfer and integrate the new knowledge into their life. So, makahelp siya sa learner to define how they will apply their new knowledge at the work. So, syempre, mag-give kaog opportunity sa ilaha. So, reflect on the new knowledge or discuss or mag-write about how they will use it at work. Or also, kanang i-try out ang new practice, skill at work, and report back. And additionally, and collaborate, makikollaborate ka with peers na ipa-collaborate nimo sila with peers on a task or solve a problem together using what they have learned. So I guess that's all for my report, and thank you for listening.